England's football heritage isn't just about the players or trophies. It's also about the iconic stadiums where the beautiful game was played. Today, we're diving into 20 legendary football grounds that no longer exist but remain etched in the memories of fans. From the bustling terraces to historic moments, these stadiums shaped English football. Let's relive their stories. 20. Highbury. Built in 1913, it was a temple for football purists and a marvel of early 20th century architecture. From a capacity of 73,000 fans in its later years, it reduced the capacity to around 38,500, forcing Arsenal to look for a bigger home. Highbury witnessed Arsenal's Invincibles season in 2003 to 2004. After its closure in 2006, the stadium was redeveloped into luxury apartments called Highbury Square. 19. Maine Road. This was Maine Road, nicknamed the Wembley of the North. Opened in 1923, this iconic stadium became a spiritual home for Manchester City fans. At its peak, Maine Road could hold over 84,000 fans, one of the largest capacities in England. By 2004, Maine Road was demolished, and City moved to the futuristic Etihad Stadium, beginning a new era of success. 18. Hart Lane. Hart Lane was a football cauldron. Spurs called this ground home for 118 years. At its peak, the lane held 36,000 fans, but it wasn't just about the numbers, it was the intimacy. In 2017, Spurs bid farewell to Hart Lane, and today, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium stands in its place, offering a state-of-the-art experience while preserving the club's spirit. 17. Roker Park. Built in 1898, it was famous for its raucous atmosphere. Fans packed the stands, with the record attendance reaching 75,118 in 1933. Roker Park was also a host venue for the 1966 World Cup. However, by the 1990s, the aging ground couldn't keep up with modern standards. Sunderland moved to the Stadium of Light, and Roker Park was transformed into a residential area. 16. Ayresome Park. For 92 years, Ayresome Park was Middlesbrough's fortress. Built in 1903, it saw highs and lows, including being a venue for the 1966 World Cup, where North Korea shocked Italy. With a peak capacity of 53,000, it was a classic English ground. By the 1990s, it couldn't meet modern demands, leading to the construction of the Riverside Stadium. 15. The Dell. This was Southampton's quirky and compact home for over a century. Built in 1898, it held just 15,200 fans, but made up for its size with atmosphere. The Dell saw legendary players like Matt Le Tissier, who scored countless wonder goals here. In 2001, the Saints moved to St. Mary's Stadium, leaving behind the Dell's tight corners and unique charm. 14. Burnden Park. Built in 1895, Burnden Park was a traditional northern ground that once hosted over 70,000 fans. It's remembered for the tragic 1946 Burnden Park disaster, where 33 fans lost their lives in a crush. Despite the tragedy, the stadium remained a central part of Bolton's identity until the move to their modern stadium in 1997. 13. Filbert Street. Leicester's Filbert Street was home for 111 years. Built in 1891, it was a tight ground with a capacity of 22,000. It hosted Leicester's rise, and even a League Cup victory. Today, the King Power Stadium continues Leicester's legacy, but Filbert Street will always be remembered for its charm and history. 12. Plough Lane. Located in London, this stadium was built in 1912. Plough Lane was home to Wimbledon's Crazy Gag and their historic 1988 FA Cup victory. It was demolished in 2002, but in 2020, AFC Wimbledon revived the name with a brand new Plough Lane. 11. Baseball Ground. Located in Derby, this stadium was built in 1895. Derby's baseball ground was originally designed for baseball, but became the Rams' home for over a century. It saw Derby's golden era under Brian Clough, including 2 league titles in the 1970s. 10. Victoria Ground. Victoria Ground was Stoke City's home for a staggering 119 years. It saw generations of Stoke legends, including the great Sir Stanley Matthews, grace its pitch. At its peak, the stadium hosted 51,380 fans for an FA Cup tie in 1937. By the 1990s, safety regulations reduced its capacity to 25,000, prompting the move to the modern Bet365 Stadium. 9. Boothferry Park. Hull City's home for 56 years, Boothferry Park was one of the first stadiums in England to have floodlights. It became famous for its evening games, drawing crowds even in Hull's darkest winters. At its peak, it could hold 55,019 fans. Over time, however, its condition declined, and Hull City moved to the state-of-the-art MKM Stadium in 2002. 8. Belle Vue. This wasn't just a stadium. It was a fortress for Doncaster Rovers for over 80 years. With a capacity of 40,000 in its heyday, it hosted unforgettable moments, including the team's climb back to the Football League in 2003. Replaced by the modern Keepmoat Stadium, it now lives on in the memories of die-hard fans. 7. Elm Park. Located in Reading, this was Reading FC's home for over a century. Its capacity of 33,000 in the early days dwindled to around 15,000 due to safety updates. Known for its intimate atmosphere, Elm Park gave fans an up-close football experience. When Reading moved to their modern home, Elm Park was redeveloped into housing. Still, its legacy endures as a cornerstone of Reading's history. 6. Leeds Road. Leeds Road was the backdrop to Huddersfield Town's greatest achievements, including their historic 3 consecutive league titles in the 1920s. The ground could hold 67,000 in its prime and was known for its raucous atmosphere. After 86 years, the club moved to the more modern John Smith Stadium, but Leeds Road remains a symbol of Huddersfield's early dominance. 5. Goldstone Ground. Brighton's home for 95 years, the Goldstone Ground was a hub of football passion. Its closure was controversial, with fans protesting the sale of the ground by club directors. The Goldstone's peak capacity of 36,747 dwindled over the years, but its emotional significance remains unparalleled. Today, Brighton thrives at the Amex Stadium, but the Goldstone is forever etched in their history. 4. Valley Parade. Located in Bradford, Valley Parade isn't entirely gone, but its original form was tragically lost in the devastating 1985 fire, which claimed 56 lives. Rebuilt in 1986, it remains Bradford City's home, but its history is a somber reminder of the importance of stadium safety. 3. Layer Road. Located in Colchester, this stadium was built in 1910 before later being demolished in 2008. Layer Road was famous for its intimate, compact design and passionate fans. With a capacity of 6,000, it was a challenging ground for away teams. Colchester United moved to a larger, modern stadium called Colchester Community Stadium, but Layer Road remains a cherished part of the club's history. 2. Priestfield Stadium. After the controversial relocation of Wimbledon to Milton Keynes, the club briefly used Priestfield Stadium as a temporary home. This marked a turbulent time for the club before the formation of AFC Wimbledon, which revived the team's spirit. Therefore, it served as Wimbledon's temporary home in the early 2000s. 1. Hyde Road. Built in 1887, Hyde Road was Manchester City's first major home and hosted their early Football League matches. It was the first football ground in England to build a covered stand for fans. When a fire destroyed the main stand in 1920 and later demolished in 1923, the club moved to Maine Road. Hyde Road set the stage for City's rise. Closing. These 20 iconic stadiums may no longer exist, but their stories live on. They're a testament to the evolution of football in England and the unbreakable bond between fans and their clubs. Let us know which of these stadiums holds a special place in your heart. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more football history.